I could do the old YouTube apology sigh at the start of this video, but I feel like I have a tiny bit too much respect to do that. Um, so I haven't made a video in a long time, and that's mainly due to there being no Dead Frontier news. Because I don't really like covering Dead Frontier 1, to be honest. It's not really my favourite of the two games. And I've always said that I don't feel Dead Frontier 1 has a future. And we're at a state now where we've been waiting 8 months or so longer for any Dead Frontier 2 news. And no surprise. I mean, I gotta say, I'm not surprised. As much as I want to be surprised and be like, oh, what a shame, it doesn't surprise me. It's a shame, but it doesn't surprise me. God, this car's going by every 5 seconds. Neil posted today, apparently, I've just basically caught wind of it, just a post with the headline saying that Dead Frontier 2 won't be finished, which, it doesn't surprise me. I just said that. It doesn't surprise me because of how long we've been waiting for, and I've heard a lot about how Neil's workflow works, and it just doesn't surprise me. Okay, so I'm not actually going to read this out. I was gonna, but there's so much to read. I'm terrible at reading. If you want to read the whole thing yourself, you can go to the link in the description. I'll leave it there. But to cut a long story short, he's basically talking about why Dead Frontier 2 is a thing, why it was a failure, etc. Now, me personally, I think it was only a failure because of how Neil handled the criticism. I don't really... I mean, it's a hard industry to be in. It's a hard genre to try and make a game of, especially when it's one of this scale, because Dead Frontier 1 is so much smaller. I think we can all agree on that. It's got more content in it than Dead Frontier 2, and you can sink more time into it, but it's very small in the sense that it's in terms of the quality of the game, it's a smaller sort of project. Dead Frontier 2 is almost what you want to call a next gen sort of Dead Frontier. It had a lot of ambition to it, and I mean, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not surprised that this happened, but I don't believe that it was necessarily a failure because it was just too difficult to do. It's a difficult industry, it's a difficult genre, but I don't believe that Dead Frontier 2 could have been a failure. Always would have been a failure. I think if Neil just stuck to it and tried to keep it going, then I think it would have been okay. I'm not saying that he should have fought through his feelings, because he says down here that he basically had physical responses to the anxiety and depression he was feeling. I deal with social anxiety on the regular. It is a pain in the arse. Put it this way, I have issues going down to the shop to buy something. I'm very bad with social anxiety. Maybe my voice doesn't sound like that. Maybe I sound a bit confident. But when it comes to something I'm not used to, it's bad. I understand how anxiety is, and I can understand that it's a real pain in the arse. It's not easy. It really is not. And it's a shame that some people have to deal with it. It's not fun. And the same with depression. I get depression every now and then. Fucking sucks. It's not fun. There's nothing great about anxiety or depression. It's not something to just basically say, yeah, just ignore it, Neil. Just ignore it. Work in the game. So that's not what I'm saying, because I do get that. He says here he had butterflies in his stomach, sinking feelings, increasing heart rate, sweating every time he opens the game project, that's bad. That says a lot, and that's the result of all these things that came together, all the abuse, I guess you could say, because he was getting quite hateful comments from what I remember seeing. All the abuse, all the negative reviews on Steam, just all the things coming together, and I feel for him in that regard. I still feel like he's in the wrong in this sense, because it's not okay. You don't. This is a great example of why early access is just a scary thing. I still think you can do it in the right way. I mean, hey, I just finished streaming The Forest the other day. That's been in early access since 2014. That was an early access adopter. Same with Subnautica. Those games have both been finished, and in my opinion, they're really good games. They're not perfect, but with time, early access can really prove to be a great model, both financially and also just actually getting the players' input and creating a game. It's not to be messed with, though. That's the thing. There's so many people who come to the early access stage. DayZ only just got released, supposedly. I don't think it's really any different from what I've seen, but I understand how bad it can be. Early access is not something you should mess with. It's not something you just wake up one day and go, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let's make a game, but let's have player input. I mean, that's That's the more wholesome way of looking at it, but a lot of people look at it as just a money ticket. It's just an easy way to get stuff done, and I don't know. I feel like it's very gimmicky for some people. It depends on the people using it, but for the right people use it, it can just be so good. Um, but with Death Frontier 2, I was looking forward to it because it's a new Death Frontier game. It's something we're all going to be able to play. It's a free to play. It's an MMO little thing, and it was just so disappointing in the sense that there was so much wrong with it. Death Frontier 2 with a big open city block like in Death Frontier 1. Even if you could move around that block and everything, that'd be so good. Like honestly, the closest game I can think of to what I would want Death Frontier to 2 to be. I haven't even played it before, but The Division looks very similar to it. You know, the fact that you're in a city, in this big open world city, and you're so small in comparison to everything else. I feel like a lot of games these days that are in open world cities, it feels like you're getting through them too quickly almost. You know, you feel like you're actually moving too fast. It doesn't feel like such a big city. Like, it's big in scale, but compared to you, it doesn't feel much smaller. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I'm saying. Death Frontier 2 could have been a really, really good way of making this massive world, even if it was split into different instances and stuff like that. It could have been really good. I've always put my foot forward, giving advice of what should be added. Not that it really is amazing all the time, but I've always said stuff like, oh, the prestige system should have been removed, this should have been removed, that should have been removed. I've always had my thoughts, and it's a shame that the game came to this result, really, because I was looking forward to it. I really was looking forward to it, and it was such an amazing opportunity for me personally. It brought a lot of opportunities into my life when Neil allowed me to have one of the press keys for the game. It really did allow a lot of opportunity, because I've never been treated that way by a dev, put it that way. I've never really had the experience of being able to jump on this big game I've been so excited for early by a developer like that, and I always feel really really thankful for that. So maybe I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Neil. I mean, I say I'm biased, but I've always in a way insulted him, not necessarily like insulted him personally, but just the way he works and everything like that. So I guess I ain't that biased in that regard, but I still have fond memories of the guy. I say that like he's gone. Jesus Christ, that's so depressing. I still have fond memories of Death Frontier 2 with Neil, let's put it that way. Fighting the Tendril with him was really cool. Didn't expect him to actually watch my streams, etc, etc. I mean, what actually happened after that was, as soon as the game came out, because I hadn't actually added Neil as a friend, I don't know why, I wasn't able to ever speak to him again. I haven't spoken to him in ages because of the, I'm guessing he switched the thing on that basically has it so that you have to be someone's friend to actually message them. Or he just blocked me. I don't know why he would do that, but maybe he did, I don't know. I'm assuming it's the former, but, so I haven't spoken to him since, but it was great to be able to speak to him. I remember just like after I first encountered the choir boss and everything, I went straight into like his DMs and just was like, I've just found the first mutated boss I've ever seen or whatever. And I basically just gushed for like 20 minutes just saying how much I love the game, how cool it is, how great of an opportunity this was. I just missed that sort of time with Death Frontier, and I would love to keep making videos on it. That's kind of why I haven't really made videos, and it's not because the whole milking of Death Frontier sort of thing. It's more just the fact that Death Frontier is really the only thing that garners any attention. I don't really want to make videos if no one's going to watch them. I've been doing a lot of live streams, and I've been enjoying that recently, and I intend to keep doing live streams for the foreseeable future. But actual videos, I don't know, I feel like Death Frontier is just a greater format as well. I like making the news videos and then just doing the Let's Plays in the form of streaming. It just feels better that way than try and make Let's Play videos, but the odd Let's Play video might come around. I've done a few other videos, like I did an Escape from Tarkov video, stuff like that. But he also made the point of how he wanted to spend more time with his kids, and I do sympathise with that. I don't have kids. I'm a bit young for kids. But I sympathise with the fact that he obviously has a family that he wants to take care of and spend time with. That's perfectly fine. That's just how it goes. But you got to understand that obviously Death Frontier is a living. It's not as simple as just, hey, I'm going to spend some time away from it. And the thing is, right, I've always been confused because he's always said that, Death Frontier 2 wasn't making enough money, so he didn't want to do it. We obviously know this isn't true now. It wasn't making money, don't get me wrong, but that's not the reason he obviously stopped working on it. He stopped working on it because he couldn't work on it because of just anxiety and stuff. He also mentioned motivation as well. I always have a problem with motivation, so I can completely understand that. Motivation is the worst thing when it comes to working on any project, especially if it's one of a big size. If you're making a small project, it's not so bad. But if you're working on a massive project, you can be lost. I was working on the sequel to my Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, and I had so many great ideas for it, and I was working on it. You know, I had a lot of I had quite a lot there actually for it. I never released a playable game version of it, but I was working on it. I had loads of ideas. I knew what I was doing. I had a sort of plan. But eventually I just lost interest. And I just stopped working on it. And it's hard that you go from working on these games every day and then eventually just stop like that, because it's not easy. It's not easy to have these problems. You feel the motivation loss and you're just like, do I want to work on the game today? Do I want to do this today? It's not... What I'm saying is that I sympathise with him, because I understand that this is such a big problem. I know I'm going back and forth, and I apologise, but this is something I've been wanting to say for a while. You know, I've been wanting to make a video regarding Death Frontier. To be honest, I was planning on making a video on like the 1 year anniversary of it, and be like, hey, so this is where we're at. But obviously this happened beforehand. I'm not going to be one of those, you know, people who say fight the power and just say to Neil, fight the anxiety and the pain and you'll get through in the end. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. And that's just simply it. I hope that next time he does a project, he thinks about it properly and he takes his time with it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go back to Death Frontier 2 in the near future, but, well, not in the near future, but in the far future. But he's got to come to terms with the fact that it's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have anxiety about what you're releasing. I'm sure he's aware of this. But just think about what you're doing. Don't do anything you don't want to do. I don't want him to feel like we're just telling him, work on the game, otherwise we'll sue. Like, we're not going to do that. No one's going to do that, and if they do, they're stupid. You know? I feel sorry for the people who've supported the game, paid money for credits and all that. That's not cool. And, yeah, but you've got to... You've got to sympathise with him in a way. I know I'm going back and forth. Wow. The long and short of the story is that Death Frontier 2 is done. There's no other way to put it. And yeah, we're going to have some interesting times this year, I think. So, yeah, whatever. The future is bright, hopefully. Anyway. Enough of that. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm sorry that I basically just rambled for so long, but Death Frontier 2 is just a shame. It's a shame. He's keeping the servers up though. I'm just going to leave some information. He's leaving the servers up. He doesn't plan on working on it anymore. He's just not going to work on it anymore, which is, it's a sad truth of it all, but it was to be expected. I'm still going to keep up with Death Frontier 1. I'm not going to make any videos on Death Frontier 1 though. Unless he does do what I want, is, you know, which is a little remaster, but I'm not going to make any Death Frontier videos anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. I might do Death Frontier 2 videos if any Death Frontier 2 news comes around, which probably won't, but I'll still be streaming. I'll try my best to make some videos here and there, whether it's Death Frontier, whether it's something else, but I'm very caught up on this game project, so I'll just probably be streaming, and yeah. So thanks everyone for watching, really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the rambling, but I felt I needed to sort of talk about Death Frontier, and yeah, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's just a shame. Yeah.